What a crazy Monday that was, huh? I think this was probably one of the craziest Mondays in a long, long, long time. So I got some really good information about what happened yesterday and some really disgusting stuff, actually. So let's jump into the video and look at what actually happened. So 6.4 trillion stock wipeout has traders fearing. Okay, huge numbers, huge numbers. These trillions of dollars got wiped out of the market, right? And now let's look at Taiwan down as index suffers worst day in 57 years. Ouch, that hurts. You know, on the other hand, the good news is, overnight, the Nikkei index is back up 10%, down from, I think it's like 12 something percent. So that kind of bounced back. Fear greed index kind of ticked up a little bit, I think. And to lay it all off, with all these crazy stock market stuff going on, Dell's like, hold my cup. Let's lay off another, hold my beer, and laying off another 12,500 people. I knew this was coming when they said, no promotions, going to the office and all that kind of other stuff. They were like, okay, so now here it is. Just was time till it came. 12,500 people. I hope you guys that moved, had remote jobs, moved to an area where you guys can actually get a job again. Because if you moved to states where it's in remote places, you're not going to find a remote job. You're competing with top talent, and I wish you the best of luck. So now they're screaming for emergency meetings, right? People say, no, this is so bad, so bad, so bad. Let's see if the Fed can come in, do the rate cuts, and doing all that other stuff. Because I get comments like this saying, the Fed should stay out of the, stock market. And all these traders and everybody else is screaming on top of their lungs, let's do an emergency rate cut. Let's do an emergency rate cut. So I don't know. I don't think the dip has been too big for the Fed to step in yet. We'll see if we're going to have a recovery just like the Nikkei did. But yeah, it's sure not pretty, right? Because in my opinion, the Fed needs to get out of the stock market and focus on the real economy. Yeah, but is that going to happen? Probably not. Because if these big corporations lose too much money, the Fed's going to step in. And this what brings me to the most disgusting thing that I saw yesterday. Robinhood halt trading amid mass stock sell-off. Stuff like this always disgusts me. Because when I'm looking at, these IRS memos and they're saying, oh, if I send you $600, the IRS is going to start tracking that. And they're going to say, hey, you moved $600. But when the, when trading halts and you can't make money because you would cost them money, then all of a sudden there's a technical error, a glitch in the system. And it always happens when it benefits them. And when it would benefit you, or a trade or something, that you were trying to do, and it wouldn't work out like you think, it's never a glitch, because then they retroactively go in and say, hey, we still, did your trade and you lost money on it. So let's have the DOJ investigate. Let's investigate some and see what's really going on, because this was just one of the platforms that halted trading. And I was hoping yesterday when I made my video that wouldn't happen, but then shortly after I published it, they did do it again. So how is that even legal, that they halt trading on you guys? Because some of you guys in the comments said that you guys made some killer money with some trades you guys did. And I just encourage you guys, always take profits. Always take profits. Be better than what I do, because I'm always like, yes, $1,000 is going to turn into 50. And it goes up to 25, and then it goes back to 1,000 or whatever I have in it. So take profits. It never ever hurts to take profit. So now with all this turmoil, right, people are saying, oh, this is one asset class that is, in bubble territory under Warren Buffett. Somebody sent me the Warren Buffett index, and according to him, these are all asset classes that are inflated. And when we're looking at all these inflated, asset classes, people are saying, oh, real estate's going to be next. And so we're looking at real estate. If we look at real estate in a similar manner, then we need to make sure that the real estate is like area specific, right? So it's way, way harder to determine if real estate is in a bubble because there's so many different factors that go into real estate, supply and demand, right? And it always lags. So real estate isn't as fast as stocks because stocks are pretty liquid. When there's trading volume, you can then sell stocks whenever. You can even sell after hours, you can do that with crypto and all that. But real estate, it takes months to sell a house. So real estate is not liquid. Real estate is really a long process and inexpensive to sell. Stocks are super cheap to sell depending on, you pay a few dollars for a trade and then you sell your stock, right? But real estate is so a lengthy term that it always lags, right? But when you have people trying to buy, then it's, and you sell today, it's gonna, if you put it on the market today, then it's gonna take 30 days before somebody bites, and then it's gonna take another 30 days for them to close. So it's a huge, huge, lengthy process, right? And sometimes they say contingencies that my house needs to sell. So then you have a 45, 60 day, right? And so it's a very, very long process. And you can't just say, hey, real estate as a whole is going to drop because, there's areas that is going to do very well and there's areas that are going to do really, really poorly, right? So I don't think we can say it as a whole that real estate's going to collapse. I think if insurance is going to drive the price up, the unknown factor, like in Florida and this new storm, I think you can then make a prediction that if insurance isn't affordable anymore, then real estate prices will eventually go down. Because if you're going to have to pay thousands of dollars every month in just insurance, and Americans only have a $5,000 budget for a house, and 4,000 is used up on insurance because every few years you need to rebuild that house, then it's not feasible. So asset prices then will come down due to these factors, right? So yeah, we're in turbulent times, and these turbulent times are going to be very, very interesting to see, um, you know, who's going to come out on top because there's going to be really, really good ways of making money coming down the road here if you stacked away some money, if you put away something. And I told people in the comment section, even car deals, these car dealers are scrambling to trying to get rid of their cars. I've seen them all over, these other short form video platforms where you say, where they're saying, oh, there's 600-day supplies on some cars. So at one point they need to discount them and sell them. So yeah, it is coming, folks. It is coming. Prices are coming down due to layoffs, not being able to buy stuff and all that. So we're going to get, the Fed was absolutely right when they said we're going to reach 2% inflation because nobody can buy. If nobody has a job to buy, that's a way of doing it also. It's like, it's not a V-shaped recovery. It's basically, a cliff going down the roads. And then it's like, haha, no parachute, you should have gotten a parachute. But yeah, it is brutal. It is absolutely brutal. So for all these people that are right now in it and do not have a government job, man, no job secure, no job secure. And I've even had people emailing me saying like, hey, I had 8 interviews and all of them, took the listing off and then they've re-uploaded the same listing a little bit ago. And they said, they just said, oh, we went in another direction, then re-uploaded that same listing again. And so they're not even hiring. So when you're in a situation where they're not even hiring for those job listings, man, you need to have an emergency fund. And gosh, we're in so crazy, crazy volatile times. And yeah, it's not time to go buy and spend a lot of money. It is time to trim off the fat of all of your spending. If there is any unnecessary spending, it needs to go. It needs to go. You need to be lean. It needs to be, unless you have a good job and you have a lot of money set aside where you can say, hey, I'm doing good, I'm fine. If I'm unemployed, I will retire, then good. But I also have people writing me in that they're worried about their stock portfolio, that they're worrying that they live off of their stocks and all this other stuff. And now they're worrying if they need to get another job again. And yeah, that's why I think it's really important to buy a house when you can and make sure that you can have it paid off and not go and refinance and just have it paid off by the time you're 60 so you don't have a mortgage payment. And you don't have to do that. You can also invest in index funds and dividend stocks and make sure that when you have um, money coming in every month to cover your living expenses. Just some way to have your living expenses covered. Because if you have your living expenses covered, then you're good. Then, then you only need to make sure of insurance and fun and entertainment and car, right? And hopefully by then you have your car paid off and you don't need to go and, you can go travel the world and do things. But it is hard now. It is brutal when you see all these people struggling. And if you are not seeing this, if you're not seeing the struggle and you're not seeing all of this, what's going on in the market, and you're still thinking that, it's just a bump in the road, it's just a speed bump, then yeah, I don't know how to help you because this is the speed bump before the cliff. When in the movies they have these speed bump and these roadblocks before it's just, going over the bridge and then it just tanks. This is what this is, because if this wasn't so, the greatest investor of all time, Warren Buffett, would not be sitting on so much money, and he would not be saying that asset prices are overinflated. If that was the case, Warren Buffett would have all his money invested and just be happy as a clam, right? And just buy stocks. But no, he's selling positions and he is hoarding more cash right now than he has ever been, right? He's sitting on more cash than stocks. He has more value in cash than he has stocks. So he is obviously not worried about inflation at the moment, right? Or he would invest that money into something. And now I'm wondering, when is he going to buy again? When is he going to pull the trigger and start, deploying his money? Because he has a lot of money. And I've seen some of you guys there. You guys even wrote me in and said, "Oh, as soon as Warren Buffett sold some of his Apple, I did the same." And you guys sold on top. And when you follow stuff like, you follow things like Warren Buffett, he's a market maker, right? He is a trendsetter. He he is somebody that can move markets. And when his company does, sell stocks, does things, that persuades other people to do it. If I told you guys I sold my share in Apple, who am I? I'm a nobody. And most likely you're the same, right? We are not market makers. And nobody would listen to me and it wouldn't be in the newspaper that I sold Apple stocks, right? And I don't want to be that person because I'm not that good at it like Warren Buffett is. I'm not good at it. And people that say, "Oh, you should start." Somebody wrote me in and says, "Oh, we should partner." I was like, "No, do not have the best track record. I do not have the best track record with selling and buying and doing anything, because I'll tell you something. I'm here trying to, persuade transparency and trying to make you guys do better decisions. I've bought into a hemp company, spent tens of thousands of dollars of buying 3% of a hemp company in California. 3 years later, they wrote me, and I think I had $50,000 invested for a minority share of like 3.5%. And we were having issues with the permit, and they closed down now because we couldn't get CBD or whatever it was to be medical grade, and they wouldn't allow it because the FDA haven't moved. So that was one big thing where I'm not the greatest investor. Then I had a frozen yogurt store where my, right before COVID that I bought, and I've invested 50,000 and my business partner invested 50, so we had 100 in it. And then all of a sudden COVID came and shut us down again. So I do not have the greatest track record. So do not look at what I'm saying or what I'm doing and take it as, and make your decisions based off of what I'm telling you. I would rather you guys do your own research and then take what I say into consideration and watch other YouTubers and do your own research and talk to somebody like a financial advisor or something that is way, way smarter, that's licensed, that can give you guys the right information. And so you can make an informed decision on what you should do with your money. Because when people write me, should I do this? Should I do that? I am not an expert. I do not know your financial situation. I do not know if you are going to, when do you want to retire? What's your risk? What's your risk? What's your willingness to risk and all that? So you don't need to write me in saying, what should I do? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing. And nobody knows what they're doing when they're buying stocks. And if they have insider information from Congress or something, and then you should write me and see if I can also get in. But besides that, no, we do not know. We do not know. The common folks will always get screwed because we are the only ones that can actually, persuade a market, but then they just stop and halt trading. So we're always going to be the ones that are going to be left holding the bag, right? That's how it always was. That's how it always will be. Till there's some investigation, closed down, and all that kind of other good stuff. But yeah, it is. I feel like with these Robinhood things, it's almost like it's a sport now where you trade stocks, you do things, and all of a sudden, this halt trading, just like a game, it crashes on you. And then it's like, oh my gosh, they're making me lose money. And there's no uprise. I feel like there should be an uprise in Robinhood because of it. So really, really turbulent times we're living in. Oh my goodness. So I sold a bunch of stock in a week and a half or so ago. I sold $100,000 worth of stocks. Some of it's in real estate now, so I bought a property. And yeah, I'm glad I did, because man, I was like, it's keep going up. But at one time, it's just, is it gonna keep going up? Because how much can everything keep going up? I know they're always shoot for 2% inflation and all that, but man, it can't just keep going. It's just, where's the money coming from? How is everything keep going up and then all these layoffs? Because if we're creating more jobs, I will get it, I get that we would, stuff's getting more expensive because, more people are getting jobs, there's more demand and all that. But man, we're letting these people go by the thousands. And why? And this is a question for you. Why is there always a number like 12,000, 12,500, 15,000? Why is it never like 3,400? Why is it never like less than 5,000? Why is it that these CEOs are thinking, hey, if we're gonna do layoff, let's do the real layoffs and let's lay off like 12, let's lay off over 10,000 people. Like how are those meetings? And if you know, let me know in the comments below, because I'm just like, it's just mind-boggling. How do you come up with these numbers? It's like, no, we're gonna let about 12,500 people go. And then are they gonna let go 20,000? Or are they gonna let exactly the same amount go? Because who knows? They can say paper takes everything, right? So you can say, hey, we're gonna let 12,500 go, but then the actual number is about 16,000. So yeah, I'm just thinking out loud, right? So let me know, because I'm curiously interested to see if they would, if the number has to be exact, because they can also say, oh, some of them went into retirement, some of them we got severance packages and all that kind of stuff. Because yeah, it's just no fun today. So you got some good news in this video about the Nikkei index. And yeah, let's see what today brings. And hopefully the markets will recover and we're going to be doing good again. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. If you like these videos, please send me articles. I love chatting with you guys in the comments section. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. I'm always up for conversations. So I appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I got the number way earlier. I put that on the screen. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.